It doesn't come to a shock to many of us that over the past year, a lot of games have received forced censorship or bans of their titles from Steam, from dating simulators to visual novels, from reasons to suggestive content to what they like to call child exploitation, and Valve has once again shown us their double standard true colors. A few weeks back, they proved to us their review bomb double standards, where they had implemented a brand new system to fight back against review bombs, negative or positive, and yet they decided to hide negative review bombs, but they did not hide positive review bombs in the case of a Ubisoft game, Assassin's Creed Unity, and now their double standards for curation have been exposed. Life is Strange 2 Episode 3 was finally released on Steam, and it has an underage sex scene which features nudity. Not anything too intense, but you still see butts and breasts, and both of the characters are topless during their steamy scene. There's no form of, intercourse or anything, but it is implied by the way that they're positioned and the way that they're acting, so take it as you see fit. And apparently this is okay, but a dating simulator where characters are in a high school setting is far too suggestive and inappropriate, so something like that gets the ban hammer with no appeal. Some of the games that Valve has allowed that do have underage sex scenes do seem to follow certain ideologies. Two games, A Hand in the Darkness and Sweet Pool, both contain these scenes, though these games were allowed on the platform because they follow a specific narrative, and that narrative is that they are both gay couples. The story of these games revolve around the couples, so the fact is, these are games that should be allowed on Steam, and there's certainly nothing wrong with creating a game about a gay couple. There's nothing wrong with that. I have no qualms about that. Again, this brings us back to the point of double standards of a game having to fit into a narrative to be on the platform when all narratives should be allowed on the platform. All of the video game journalists which covered the game did not mention at all that the scene was being left in the game, when Steam and Sony have been so aggressive with taking out anything that resembles underage sexualization in fanservice in anime games especially. Senkaku Complex was one of the few websites that I found that actually discussed this, along with the One Angry Gamer article that went up about this topic, and they do a good job of actually showing the scenes from the game and really discussing it, but these scenes are on the same level of content in fanservice that has been censored out of so many other games. I also do not see these game journalists talking about the political messages that are left in the game. Another huge aspect of the game left untouched was the blatant left-wing narrative. The game basically features a ton of criticism of conservatives and right-wing leaning politics. It also suggests that Trump supporters are all racist due to how two of the leading characters in the game are treated. And you better believe that if it was a conservative leading, the masses of game journalists would have been up in arms about, and that would have been the focus of their review, and I'm sure that all of their reviews would have been more negative. I myself do not lean left, I do not lean right, and I do not appreciate being given a political narrative in my games. I play games for something that I have mentioned many times over in my videos: escapism. I would feel the same exact way about political messages in my games, no matter which way that they went. Even if this had been written completely to support and idealize the current administration. I'm not trying to take sides, this just does not belong in a release like this. We all know two of the main differences here. One is that this game is not an anime fanservice title, and when they know a title will sell well, they will refuse to censor it, or a title from a larger developer. But when it comes to a game that might not make them as much money, they are willing to censor anything that they want. They do not want to piss off larger developers because they do not want to push a game off of their platform to where it's only on the competitor's platform. And Steam definitely does not want a game company to sell their product directly off of their website, which is what would happen if they hit these developers that actually have money. But they know when they hit these smaller companies that they do not have a choice. They do not have as much money, they do not have as many resources, and they know that there are not a whole lot of options out there for these type of games. GOG does not allow these games, the Epic Game Store does not allow these games, so they would be forced to go to smaller companies or a smaller platform, so on along the lines of Steam. least Steam has not been outright censoring every game that has these type of scenes, and some are getting through their lines, and we have seen from developers that Valve has no set rules or guidelines in regards to censorship for anyone to follow. So when you are a developer and you send in your game to be evaluated, it is a roll of the dice. Who are you going to get that day to look over your game and say yes or no? But when you're a big developer, you do not have to worry about it, and that is what Steam has proved to us time and time again, and here's just another example. But that is all that I wanted to talk about today, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like, and of course, if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either which way. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Feel free to have an open discussion about the topic, but I hope that you enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys again really soon.